Oh, we are. Okay. Cool. Oh, okay. This is working. We're live.
Woohoo!
Woo!
What is up, guys? It is Saturday Night Spoilers. I'm your host, Trevor 2.0. Joining me is Casey the Illusionist, because he isn't really here very much anymore. And Johnny 5.
Boom. Or like this.
I was going to say, or 2, I guess, but nope, he is 5. Johnny 5. We're joined by the Tick, or not the Tick, but some Tick dude. He's number 2. His name is Dinosaur Neil. Oof. Or nope, that's why Dinosaur Neil's above him. There's 2 things here. He is actually Human Bullet. So we're joined by Human Bullet. Dinosaur Neil's a bad guy who's number 2 on the set.
Yeah.
They're divided up really goofy. So you've got the good guys and the bad guys both numbered equally. So we're joined by Human Bullet. I thought his head looked like a bullet. But tonight's review is Darkwing Duck #1 facsimile, actually picked out by a customer. So shout out to her. Woo-hoo. This was a fun read. This is a reprint of the original Darkwing Duck from the 90s. If I remember correctly, it was a 90s print.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it says the initial print. 92. It's printed in 1992. And there is Donald the Duck jamming out on a Darkwing Duck cover. Which, reading this book, since I didn't grow up watching Darkwing Duck, in my head I hear a slightly darker, raspier Donald the Duck when I'm reading it. Well, because he's like half Batman, half Donald Duck. So
Right.
in my mind,
Let's
it's
get dangerous.
let's get dangerous.
Whoa. Spot on, man.
Yeah.
And to your point, Donald's really kicking it up here.
Mm-hmm. He dances just like I do.
Dude, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you call that move? What's he doing right now?
I actually, I didn't do it quite like that,
Right.
but when I did it once, because I went dancing with my high school
What do we
friends
call
years
it?
ago.
Yeah.
It's actually a funny story. We used to go to dancing lessons. I had just gotten out of high school. This is probably like 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm old. Of course, you're ancient. But
Wow.
no, I used to go dancing with my friends, and there'd be open dance, and they'd teach us some moves. There'd be some more open dance, but I'd do that.
Yeah.
And I had 4 of us in a line going like this.
Yeah.
I looked over at my friend. I told her, I go, join us. She goes, no. I go, you know you want to. She's like, nope, I really don't want to join you guys. Like, come on, I got everybody else doing it.
Yeah. All the cool kids are doing it.
Only person in the group who didn't want to do it.
Hmm.
But it was a bit of fun.
I'm just trying to think of like what we would call this move though. I mean, what is this posture?
The Donald Duck.
What is he like? I feel like he's like throwing dice at a casino.
Yeah, that's what I was
while he's
thinking
holding
was,
up a
you know-
bottle of bubbly or something. Hanging out with Daisy.
Oh, I was thinking
You know,
the
he
dice
can
was in the
part.
fist part, not the.
Oh, that's fair. And then is he going like, oh, you?
Well, I was thinking showing off his new ring.
Actually, and I see 3 fingers there. Isn't that like the Vulcan thing you always do, Casey?
He's just jamming out with his Trekkies.
Yeah. I think he's a Trekkie.
Yeah,
Is what Donald's saying here. 3. Vulcan. Yeah. Live long and prosper. That's what he's doing. He's throwing it down. Live long and prosper.
Maybe it's
All
a
right.
Vulcan dance.
We are spoiling the heck out of this cover. Sorry.
The cover is banging, though.
It is.
I mean, you got his...
Here's
Yeah.
Darkwing's opinion of Donald.
The same opinion we have. What? But let's get into this book. Give a shout out to our cast here. John Blair Moore did script and pencils. George Wildman did the inking. Mark Gaffin did colors, and Jasper Salandino did letters.
See all the names. Yep.
So shout out to all of our cast here who put together this fantastic book back in 90, was it 92? Yes. I forget already. Darkwing Duck. Brawl in the Family, Part 1, Darkly Dawns the Duck. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Darkly dawns the duck.
That's slow.
Darkly dawns the
Slow,
duck. Darkly
faster.
duck.
Darkly dawns the duck. Darkly. Nope.
Nope.
See?
Made it once and
You
a
got me,
quarter.
Disney. Or
Yeah.
John Blair Moore.
John Blair Moore.
You got me.
This is the... And
92 till now. Sorry, I'll shut up.
when I was reading the narration, I'm pretty sure I read it as the narrator in Pokemon, the
Yeah.
animated series.
Can you demonstrate a little bit of that, please?
I don't know if I even can.
Okay. How about the other coworker, not Trevor? Can you read it like that?
Sexy Trevor.
Just the first line. Just try it.
Let's get sexy. This is the burgeoning city of...
Welcome
We'll be instead of Darkwing Ducks. Let's get dangerous. Let's get sexy.
Whoa.
This is the burgeoning city of. So, Tony's joining us. Evening, all you Rainbow crew.
Yeah, yeah.
Good evening to you, Tony.
Gotta throw him up here really quick. Tony, thank you so much for tuning in.
We're so happy to see you here tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight on this wonderful Saturday evening. It was a beautiful day outside. I could see it from the register. Yeah. What a day.
Shout out to the sun.
Shout out to the sun. The midnight
And its
suns.
blaze of glory.
All the suns.
Rogue sun.
Superman's son of Kal-El.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of
Just
suns.
all
Come on, it's suns. It's one of the
Super
suns.
yeah.
The super suns.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the suns.
All suns.
But we start in the burgeoning city of Saint Canard.
Canard.
Is
Canard?
that like a play on
Yeah,
the
it's Canard.
cardinal?
Yeah.
Probably.
Canary? I don't know.
What?
Like any other major metropolis, shout out to Superman.
You might
It
wanna Google
has-
that while you read Canard.
Canard.
Saint Canard.
It has its problems with the less desirable elements of the city. I think it's funny how these guys strip the car that fast. We're all on our phones now. Good grief. Okay, I guess.
So this is interesting. A small wing-like projection attached to an aircraft forward of the main wing to provide extra stability or control, sometimes replacing the tail. So it's like a
Rudder.
I guess. So the city is
Like a-
rudder.
It's like a tail
But it's a
projectile.
Saint rudder. So there you go, you guys. We're always learning new things about these books. I love this. Every time.
Let's get dangerous.
Oh, Tony, it's gonna get
dangerous here.
Yeah. Also, you guys aren't gonna see this coming. Casey is not broken tonight. Somebody else is, and we can't say who.
Let's get dangerous.
Oh, here we go.
But St. Canard has something other cities don't have. Oof, there's Crocker. Crocker, who did this to you?
Yep.
What is this, some kind of gag? Rips his mouth. I think that's funny. Highlight that panel. Rips his mouth off in the sheet. I think that's funny. Because that's the...
Literal mouth.
Ouch!
I'm the terror that flaps in the night. What's that, boss? I don't know, but we're out of here. Darkwing Duck, you may as well go up now, you slimy scoundrels. There's no use trying to escape. No one has a chance of getting away from Darkwing Duck. Then they come roaring past on their motorcycles and pickup truck. Eep, maybe just a small chance. Those creeps don't know what they're dealing with. Small setbacks are the spice of adventure. Darkwing Duck owns the night. Let's get dangerous. Throws a grappling hook onto the motorcycle in front of him. Gets ripped off his own motorcycle. Goes crashing into that guy's motorcycle. Throws these guys tied up into the police station. He goes, another order of dastardly delinquents deposited on your doorstep, courtesy of Darkwing Duck. I'd like to meet the guy who does this guy. Actually, we can meet the guy who does this guy's voice. He's supposed to be a super young, is he not?
Yes.
Oh.
Because having to say all of these D's in a row, he likes to just run letters together. That's 2 words, not 3, both D's capitalized. Here's my card. And as a special bonus, I'll throw in this free 8x10 glossy photograph, suitable for framing. If the papers need more glossies, copies are available upon request. And now I must disappear, back into the gloom. Disappearing as fast as he came, Darkwing Duck returning to the shadows to stalk the seeds of evil in his lair. In its lair. Not his lair. I don't know if he has a lair.
He does.
Kind of.
I think we'll get to that. Step aside! Requests for interviews must be referred to. So where's the press? Where's the action newsman when I really need them? I spent all afternoon ironing this cape. I think it's funny how much of a show-off he is. He's a bit of a poser. He wants to be interviewed. He wants his name out there. He's the opposite of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, give me the press. Give me some publicity. Give me a movie deal. Give me a TV series, a comic book line. Oh, well. Comes the dawn, and Darkwing Duck silently steals away to a secret refuge high atop the city's threshold to recharge for another night of covert crime busting. I can't wait to hit the hay. That sounds like me every single night. I just want to go to bed. But first, a bit of breakfast. And to keep himself on his toes, he hits an alarm clock, and everything's flying at him. He catches the plate with his mouth, runs with a bowl to catch his cereal as it goes out of a cereal spitter. Kind of like the ball shooters get at a batting cage.
Isn't that breakfast?
All right.
Catches an egg with a frying pan, burns himself on his fire pit, a literal pit in the floor. Split second light burns his hand. Statistics show that most accidents happen in the kitchen. Eat molten fat. I love that. That is my favorite line.
Next time you butter toast, you should yell that.
I will.
Eat molten fat.
That duck always knows which side his bread is buttered on. Which doesn't make much sense. Highlighting Tony. He was always about the publicity. Granted, he was not as rich as Bruce Wayne. That's true.
He's doing it on that domestic budget.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Another record-breaking performance. Everything a Cape Crusader needs for a wholesome, nutritious breakfast except the milk. Fridge shoots up out of the ground, comes crashing down on him. Then you see him pouring milk. So I make a mistake now and then. There's not a street punk in the city that isn't afraid of Darkwing Duck. I just wish I could get a shot at a really big criminal moving to this cow who's huge. Massive bull, so he is big. He's got a pet buzzard, which in a city of animals, is that like owning your own kind? Like if I had a pet human, he has a pet buzzard. I will never understand that about Disney. We're all animals, but so are the animals that we own. Our pets are ourselves. 2, Hammerhead. Not the Hammerhead from, is it Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Different Hammerhead. This guy's a goat. Not the greatest of all time goat. Just
That's what I was
goat.
going to say. Is he?
He's not a goat. He's just a goat. Not the goat, I should say. The boys and me were just wondering if maybe we couldn't wait till the rain stops before we steal the ramrod. Oh, I see. You mean when the army takes control of the weapon? When the train stops, not the rain. It's been a day. So you mean when the army takes control of the weapon with its jeeps and tanks and hundreds of guards? Once the army has a ramrod, I may never get another chance at it. I will not let it slip out of my hands.
Hold on. Can we go back to that panel? Trevor, I need you to read that as it's depicted. Like, voice it.
Crash?
Like, this progressively just gets more and more raw. Come on.
Because you know I do voices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love doing voices.
Show them what you got.
You mean the army takes control of the weapon with its tanks and jeeps and hundreds of guards?
Boom.
Once the army gets the ramrod, I may never get another chance at it. I will not let it slip out of my hands. Better?
Better.
Crash. Goes back to petting his vulture. What?
You do the sound effect at the end. Sorry.
Would you like me to do this blinking light?
Broken too. What's the noise?
Beep.
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 Boop.
There you go. Casey for the gold.
That was pretty awesome. Warren's Cummings is his cow secretary. When this light goes off, he is in jail, we find out. So he sends his hired goons down a trapdoor, much like Mr. Burns. Give me a reason not to fire you without using the letter R. Fired. That was a funny episode. I just saw that as a meme. Or episode. Yeah, it was a meme. It was a funny one. Well, Taurus Bulba. I trust you're enjoying your stay with us. I find it very peaceful, actually. It suits my business needs perfectly. Darkwing Duck is above his perch, looking out over the city. He sees an eagle, or more precisely a condor, traveling south for the winter, no doubt. This is the first I've ever seen with luggage. This bit of feathery intrigue is best investigated by Darkwing Duck, and I love the lettering there as it goes down.
Darkwing
Descending lettering.
Sorry.
Let's get dangerous. That's pretty awesome. And he shoots out of the top of a bridge. I want to know how he's living on top of a bridge with nobody finding out. This isn't just a cave underneath his mansion.
No.
This is on top
Very
of a bridge.
public.
It's lit up. I mean, any newscopter driving by could be like, hey, there are lights on top of this bridge.
Yeah. 92 though, this was before, everyone had a camera.
Very
Right.
On their phone, so there's that, but it's not foggy or anything, and it
Right,
doesn't publicize it.
Yeah.
So out of towners probably saw it and they're like, whatever.
Now he sounds just like me. I just love it when I say things like that. I'm hilarious. Speeding through the empty streets of the sleeping metropolis, Darkwing Duck's steady gaze remains fixed on its prey, all the while taking in everything around him, missing nothing! This car drives on its side, a narrow escape for the duck with the cape. What do you mean? You own the night or something? He follows this condor out of the city. Then we see this train flying by. And those goons throw a grappling hook up there and get pulled along by it. With the last one going, couldn't we have bought a ticket?
Yeah, see, look at that grappling hook in the ground.
Which,
Or
reading this, if you've watched The Simpsons, you know who Mole Man is. That is how I read that voice, was Mole Man from The Simpsons. And Tony says,
Ticket.
couldn't they have just thought it was a night watch at the time? Possibly. I don't live in a giant city. I will never live in a giant city, so I don't know if they have night watches on top of bridges. Possibly. Maybe if I ever get to cross the Golden Gate Bridge, I'll look up.
Boom.
And then I'll hit the car in front of me just like Darkwing Duck did. As Trevor watches his surroundings around him completely, he studies the bridge for oh no!
And insurance went up. I'm just kidding. Shout out to insurance.
Shout out to insurance. We see some guards just talking. I've read this guy's voice weird too. I think this guy's voice I read as the dorky kid from The Simpsons too, who works at the burger place.
Oh,
I like voices and I
Oh.
put voices around. They're talking about being on duty. Boy, what dull duty. Easy for you to say. Trains always make me seasick. Yeah, it was that one, the seasick guy. Easy for you to say. Trains always make me seasick. I don't feel right.
There's how derpy they are in
Yeah.
general.
I don't feel right unless I got something solid under my feet. Hey, our post is deserting us. You're never satisfied, are you? Just classic Disney. It's so funny. Mother always told me to use my head. Get into those uniforms, jerks, and keep a lookout. Always mistreat your goons, but they always keep coming back. I mean, if you read, was it Harley Quinn or Joker? One of them, like seeking out Joker's goons. They're like, oh yeah, we still work for the Joker whenever he wants us back. Well, they went and worked for, what book was it? I think Joker came out of retirement, but all of his goons went and worked for the Penguin or something, or vice versa.
That's awesome.
Like, what are my goons doing for him? Well, we thought you were dead, so they went on to the next big guy. Like, you gotta assume their insurance and 401k is terrible and they're gonna get beat up by the Batman, but they're still looking for a job.
Or the Joker. Or the Penguin.
Yeah, well, I mean, being a psychotic killer,
Yeah.
owner of a nightclub, you got a little more leeway there instead of just some guy on the street who's like, hey, I need a job. How can I get beat up and put in jail the fastest? I'm gonna go work for the Joker.
Well, and if you think about it, when it comes to the different big guys, you got the different costumes too. So that might take up the decision process of who's going to be who's bad guy.
I just want to wear purple tonight. I don't know why. I'm gonna go work for the Joker. It's orange. I should go get a job for Two-Face.
I feel like there was a book about that, like people that rotated through bosses or something.
I remember in the most recent Joker series, I think the Joker was supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
And Joker, the man who stopped laughing.
Oh, sure.
And the Joker shows up and he's like, well, where's all my guys?
Mm.
Like, well, they kind of left because you were dead. I stayed loyal. Like, no, you didn't. You're going to work for me anyways. So if you haven't picked up the Joker, Man You Stop Laughing #1, come check that out. It's a good read. A lot of cool covers are still over there. I think a DNA cover, a blank cover, Hispanic Heritage Month, and then the A cover. I know it all offhand because I just restocked it. Nah, the boss sure likes his toys big. This pea shooter better be worth the trouble. The Condor drops his package on his trunk on the roof. He's like, you lousy pigeon, can it, prong brain. Get to work. It's all ready, boss. Splendid, proceed. His boss has got like a radio on the bird. Meanwhile, I've been wanting to do this ever since I saw the perils of Follette. You probably aren't aware of it, but something sinister has stolen aboard your train. Fear not, though. I, Darkwing Duck, defender of the helpless, will see to it the innocents on this train are not disturbed. Hubba hubba ho, I've hit the jackpot. According to my extensive files on the underworld, those guys work for Taurus Bulba, the master criminal. This is my shot at the big time. What's that? Poof of smoke. I am the terror that poofs in the night. I am the switch that derails your roll. Nothing?
I mean,
But it's not that. It's rat-a-tatting.
is it
It's
Rat-a-tat. Oh, sorry.
that Pokemon?
Did we get him? We must have. Darkwing Duck's right behind us. Do we get him? We must have. I'm sorry to disappoint you, gentlemen. You two are bound for the slammer. Say, I'll bet the newspapers will pay plenty for this. Hold it. Okay, go ahead. By the way, I'd like a set for myself. Yeah? Well, paste this in your scrapbook. You're out of your league, Duck. Better run along to your costume party. And inside of that crate, there's wings. This train is flying away. I don't know how it's propelled, but it's flying away. Darkwing Duck grabs his grappling hook, shoots it off, grabs onto the train, and is flying away with the train. You hear the boss's voice. Who is that clown? He's not one of mine. Take care of him. The condor goes, snaps his line, he falls through a barn. Straight through the ground like every classic Disney cartoon. Bruised, battered, but never defeated, Darkwing Duck springs back into action. Clever of me to use the ground to break my fall like that. Luckily, my superb conditioning enables me to snap right back from the experience. Nobody messes with the planes in my hangar. No, you don't. For my name isn't Launchpad McQuack. You don't understand. And like I said during our first read-through of Darkwing Duck #1 that just came out a few weeks ago. I think it's a bi-weekly
yeah, book. #2 already came out.
Yeah, #2 already came out. I didn't pick that one up. I know my girlfriend did. Did either of you guys pick it up?
I think I did.
I did.
Okay, so I'm the only one here who's not reading Darkwing Duck. I read too much already. Darkwing Duck goes, I'm not a thief. I'm Darkwing Duck. You know me? Really? Because know you. I'm your biggest fan. Of course. But the autograph will have to wait. He's like, I gotcha, DW. But what are you doing here? No time for that now. We have evildoers to detain. You know, this is a great opportunity, DW. I could be your sidekick. Your sidekick. I should have said sidequack. That would have been funny. They had the opportunity and they didn't take it. He's like, Launchpad, wouldn't it be easier if we were facing the other way? Sorry, is that I sometimes have trouble with that, which is funny. They're flying the plane backwards.
Yeah.
Put it in reverse. Most people don't realize they're safer in the air than in their own homes. Thanks, you've cured my homesickness. Keep a lookout for the flying boxcar and an overdrone killer canary. They're right under us. Can you take us lower? No problem, DW. It's that costume meddler again. Get rid of him. Now, where did that stupid bird go? Right above him. This cat and mouse game is getting monotonous. I love that word, monotonous. Hey, you don't understand. I'd like monotone.
Not me.
Oh, but not me. That makes more sense. Monotony.
Monotony.
Monotony start.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, I have an Iron Man suit. This is an ideal place to end the episode.
Yeah, that's like total cliffhanger too. I was like reading it. I'm like, oh, I'm done already. Like, what?
So does that mean you need to go hit our back issues? Is the flamboyant fowl about to become the terror that splats in the night? You'll never know until you buy the next issue of Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Check out what others on sale in March of 2023. We have Gargoyles issue 4, Darkwing Duck issue 3, and Gargoyles issue 1 facsimile is on sale now. We still have a couple on our gray racks, so come check that out. We got some cool foily cover now. Let's get dangerous with Darkwing Duck. If you have not read that one, we all here recommend checking it out. That was our book, 3 weeks ago, I think now?
Yep.
So go check that out. Go back through our recent videos and find that one. Watch that. See our review
Watch
on
all
that.
of them.
I mean, watch all of them, of course. But
Especially the first.
if you want to throw back to more Darkwing, go check that one out. The following preview features in-process pages from Darkwing Duck 1. We show them up on the sconce. Can get it signed by Jim Cummings, also at SuperCon.
Woo!
Thank you for pointing that out, Tony.
So,
Anybody who comes and picks up Darkwing Duck should be able to, and I'm only saying should because sometimes these guys do get other plans on their agenda. Something comes up and they do have to drop out from time to time.
Yep.
So I cannot give a 100% guarantee that he will be there.
but monitor the SuperCon channels.
Monitor the SuperCon channels. Find them on Facebook. Find them on Instagram? Are they on Twitter?
Yep.
Find them on Instagram. Find them on Twitter. And you can follow them there and see the progression of everything. Make sure he doesn't drop out. We are all hoping he does not. And as of right now, he will be there.
That'd be pretty cool to get a sign or something.
I'm planning on it.
Yeah, I'm
Planning on
gonna
it.
this cover right here that I have.
Yep,
I'm
we got
gonna get
the-
that one signed by him.
Yeah, that's the America and Dolpho. There's some interior panels. All new monthly adventures in continuity with the classic TV series from Gargoyles. Gargoyles #1. We're running low on that one too, so come grab that while you can. I might only have a few variant covers out there right now.
I was gonna say issue 3 was.
Yeah. In the back, there are the other covers that they were doing for this reprint. You got the main cover, which we got. The black and white, I think we got a couple, and they're gone already. Another from Tony. I am planning on having him sign something. Hondo Onaka myself. Now, that is a Star Wars guy, if I remember right.
Yes.
He is a bounty hunter.
I believe so.
Look at that. I don't watch the
Or-
Clone Wars, but I know.
Or is Hondo Onak? No, he's the space pirate.
Yeah, same. Okay, fine. I was close. He did something cool. Space Pirate. I was halfway there. And so we got the blank cover, which I thought we had a couple of those, but they're gone too. All we've got left are some A covers and not a ton. We got a gold foil cover. We did not get that guy in. He is a pirate. Thank you, Tony. To anybody who was wondering, he is a pirate. There's a gold foil, a purple foil. We didn't get either of those. And there was a Spectral Comics retailer exclusive foil cover. Again, didn't get that one because we are not Spectral Comics. I'll find that guy online if you need him. But we do still have plenty of the main cover, so come check that out. And final ad in the back, Gargoyles, one facsimile edition. So
In
come check that
stores
out.
now.
I don't know that we got a lot left, but there are a couple, maybe. I haven't checked Gargoyles in a bit. So, that is our book this week, Darkwing Duck #1. Thoughts?
Thoughts? Well,
You're both guys are more bigger into Darkwing Duck than me.
Well, I guess first of all, we could probably start out. I'll start out with talking about the artwork. It's always interesting to go back to the way that Disney drew things.
His classic '90s Disney.
Right, like right here, just perfect example. You got this guy right here who looks like basically a miniature version of Pete.
Mm-hmm. Legit Pete.
And then yeah, just the overall artwork, it's got that '90s in there, and just what I was used to when I was reading it. It's just really good art, and the detail of just even like because we were talking about detail in the last thing that we did last Saturday. Same thing with just seeing the detail that they put in on Darkwing Duck's his picture that he was holding. It's just instead of it being just a glossed over, just like head. It's actually of him, which is perfect. The lingo that throughout the whole thing was just it hits on par for the TV show that I used to watch, right, John?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And
you can like hear the voices and the inflections and stuff with some of these characters.
Right, and it was always a gag in every episode, if I remember right, that something hurt Darkwing Duck in some way, shape, or form. Like, so in this comic book, as an instance, the fridge landing right on top of him with the milk. And I didn't remember that. I could have swore he had his own house in the TV show. So just seeing this with where he lives and sleeps in his lair up there at the top of the bridge, it's just kind of interesting to me. Because I remember specifically, at least possibly in the later seasons, he had his own house when he had Goslin living with him, and maybe that's why he had to get a house, was because he got Goslin. And the villains, it's quite interesting just seeing how they're portrayed. Like, it's like you don't think of like right away. You see the villain right away, just with his suit on, talking to his fellow villains, and then all of a sudden, as soon as it says the warden is coming, and then all of a sudden he's in jail. It's like, oh, I didn't know that this guy was already in jail. That's kind of hilarious. And just continuing on, yeah. And then a lot of the art later on in the book just was like very similar to what I read like out of the newspaper comics. Like for this example, just seeing the little hook sitting there waiting for the train, and then the whoosh, or sorry, snatch zip, as it says in the.
Yeah.
And actually, when you were saying the voices for the two soldiers, I didn't actually have an actual voice for them specifically, but they just reminded me of the was it Beetle Bailey? Was
No,
the
I love Beetle Bailey.
just
when I was
that
a
those
kid.
two? That's what those two soldiers reminded me of. Is just Beetle Bailey and how they were. And overall, I love the art. It's very reminiscent of what I was used to with the comic books I did read back in the 90s, and also with the comic book show, or not comic book, the cartoon show that I grew up on watching. So that's my, I guess, 2 cents on that. And always seen Launchpad McQuack just do these outrageous stunts, like right here where he flies backwards right away to take off. It's like it makes you wonder. It always made you think, like, is that physically possible with some of the stuff that he does?
Of course not. It's a
Well,
Disney
well,
comic.
yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't think of
I
that,
know. As a kid, it's just funny, goofy antics.
right? Well, and that's the same thing with when Darkwing Duck was watching the bad guys from his perch, and when he where is
There's a motorcycle off the bridge.
well, no, the when he falls, just woo! And so instead of just lowering down like you would normally see, like with Batman and all those, and overall the story just kept me intrigued and all that as well. And so I absolutely loved it. John or Trevor, do you want to add any other stuff to what I've already said, like for comments?
For me, it was a great throwback to my childhood because I grew up reading a lot of just a few 90s Disney. I mean, I had some Mickey Mouse and stuff. My favorite was always DuckTales, and my favorite from DuckTales being Launchpad McQuack. So seeing him here was a lot of fun.
Sure.
He's always been my favorite. I grew up watching the DuckTales TV series even too, so I've got a lot of history with the Ducks. Not Darkwing though, so he's new to me. So getting ready to this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one probably more than I did the new one that came out, just because I grew up reading 90s Disney already, so it felt like a kid again. I enjoyed reading it last night. I wish they would print all of them instead of just one, because then I'd buy them all. I doubt we have any in our back here.
Start a petition.
Launchpad was actually in DuckTales also. That's where I got to know him, Tony, was through DuckTales. He was always my favorite from there. I read the DuckTales comic books. I watched the DuckTales show. If they made a movie similar to Chip and Dale, I would probably watch that one too. That was a fun movie. But I enjoyed this book a lot. The artwork was fun. The story was fun. That's what every comic book needs. Nothing crazy, just fun antics, especially in the kids' book. Johnny, though, questions? You've been pretty quiet.
I have been just kind of, one of the biggest questions I had was, this is a recent thing, but these, and I guess I'm assuming all of the Disney offerings have been coming out through Dynamite Comics.
Yes.
But it's so interesting with the partnership with Marvel and Disney. Why it wouldn't, you know what I mean? And I know it's different, IPs and stuff, like it's not movies and it's not TV, but it's so weird to me. I just caught that and I'm like, oh, that's different. So that's crazy. Overall, like you said, this is a product of 1992, and it was interesting to hear you say, Trevor, that you liked this one over the new one. For me, it's actually the other way around. I like seeing how they've adopted this kind of stuff into modern day, like with her talking about cell phones and stuff. It was just kind of a cool adaptation. So I actually lean more towards the new series just because they're taking something that I grew up with and I'm familiar with, and they're taking a kind of a fresh take on it while preserving a lot of the charm to it. The book itself had a lot of really fun moments in it. Artwork, like Casey said, was definitely top notch, and I love the lettering. Lettering something that I'm focusing on more and more now as I'm working on a comic book with a couple of friends that we've been making. So we're really excited about that. But it's kind of fun to see these details of how they did it back in 1992. Couple of moments that stood out to me here. First of all, this panel where he's awkwardly leaving the scene and he's doing that walk with the cape, and I just kind of picture him like if you literally like just watched him do it for 5 minutes, going across the room with his back arched like that. It just makes me crack up a little bit because he has a limited amount of smoke bombs, I'm sure. So at some point you got to do the budget exit.
I'll check my utility belt.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember back in the TV show, sometimes even when he did use the smoke, he was like sitting there coughing.
And then, the fact of living, in the tower of the bridge versus in a traditional home was definitely an interesting angle. And that's something I wasn't as familiar with. I am used to the more being at home kind of balance. finally, the breakfast scene, total classic. I mean, this is stuff that you saw in cartoons all the time with the wonky setups and
Eat molten fat.
It was eat molten fat was definitely a fun line. And then the other thing I wanted to call out that I made Trevor reread was the transition of angry bull character from nice to angry. Just the psycho eyes and stuff. This makes me think of the Roger Rabbit movie. Those crazy eyes because it's just I don't know why it just made me think of that. So
when we're panel, you have like bulging on the side.
And then finally, just how they're lifting up all the current projects right now in the back. So again, that cover to cover approach is, what content am I getting? And if I wasn't reading those, it would have been cool to know about them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess another thing I'd like to point out with, like you were saying, the lettering and stuff like that, it actually, just looking at this old art, how the lettering, even just with the sounds, didn't like distract you enough to take you away from the art. Was awesome.
Right in the zone.
Lettering like that is part of the art.
Yeah.
I mean, right. I wouldn't want to if you were selling like individual panels for prints. Yeah. I wouldn't want it without the lettering. That vroom, that swoosh, that zip, that is all part of the aesthetic.
But even like with this panel right here, crash. Like yes, crash takes up most of the, but it, like you said, it's part of the art.
It's part of it.
So
it'd be worse if it was just this little crash off to the side, or like a crash split down.
Right.
And it's just a cloud of smoke, and a crash is the art. That's what's drawing your eye on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to add on that, since John had mentioned about lettering. So
awesome.
And so
well, this is the moment of truth, you guys. I mean, this is a big decision here. We've read the current Darkwing Duck first issue, and now we're kicking it back to 1992, and so we gotta throw some votes here. This is important. I guess power comes great responsibility, and this is our burden to bear.
Right. So, I guess I know Trevor doesn't like it when we talk about nostalgia and stuff like that, but in a lot of sense, my rating probably cover to cover, like Trevor always does. Just getting that nostalgic feeling of the old, what we used to read, along with just a character that I was in love with, just because it was Disney's version of Batman, as we usually say. My rating is probably a 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
So.
On that same note, I enjoyed it cover to cover. It's this artwork and story that I grew up with. It was a lot of fun to read. I highly recommend it because it was just a fun, simple, no-brainer read. Yeah. Get you out of that superhero drama and just clear your mind, cleanse your palate before you get back into it. Yeah. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 too.
Oh my!
I didn't grow up with Darkwing Duck, but I grew up with this kind of story, and this is what I enjoy reading.
Yeah. This time around, I can't even fool you guys with I'm giving it a 1 because it worked. The first time, definitely, because you guys, I wish I could get a still frame of your reactions because it was fire. And then last week, you're like, whatever. So I'm not even going to bother this time. But what I will do is blow everyone's minds here and say that we are all on the same page. This was a solid 4 out of 5. Writing and everything. Casey and I hadn't had a chance to read it yet, and it was just a quick, fun read. And it packed a lot of quality in there. Shout out to 1992. Shout out to the creative team. And Dynamite, thanks for putting these Disney books out there and just capturing some fun adventures from the shows that we love. So
yeah,
4 out of 5 for me, which means it's a 4 out of 5 across the board. If you guys did have a chance to read this book and you have your own rating out of 5, throw it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh yeah, viewer comments are something we enjoy.
Yep. So shout out to Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, so much from Tony. From Tony. Thanks for joining us, Tony. It's been a day.
It has been a day for you.
It's been such a day. Go. I didn't have a break at all today, other than the 5 minutes I spent between 2 lunches eating pizza.
It was warp speed today.
Oh, it was 2 lunches. No wonder you guys weren't hungry.
No, 2 lunches. That's in 1 lunch at 1 o'clock and 1 lunch at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
When I ate that slice of pizza in the back, that was my
sure.
Okay. That is my 5 minutes of break that I took today was between those 2.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't die here, at least after I got here, until what, 7 o'clock?
7:15.
Yeah, something like that. So it was a crazy day.
Yeah.
Lull, nonstop action. All we're doing is lulling.
Yeah.
It was a day.
Yeah.
It was a
got a lot done though, actually, really. I mean, I was just rotating with things to do. I kept asking John, like, how do I keep up here and stuff? So I was just taping up a storm.
I was impressed for the amount of work we got done behind the counter, for the amount of customers we had.
Yeah.
It's a great day.
Well, we should probably do some store recaps really quick here of what's going on in the world. So, Case, What you got?
With sports, we still have our 2 football breaks and our 1 baseball break still going. So get into those if you guys are interested in. Even if you're non-sports cards collectors, get in on that. Maybe you get some money towards comic books or anything else that you enjoy. For minutes, because that's what Johnny has done twice now, and he's gotten big. So
pause. Hello, Chad. We're so glad that you're joining us. We are coming in on the tail end. We can sure rewatch this after it closes down.
Boom.
Thank you for joining us, though. Better late than never.
Exactly.
Continue.
Okay.
Pause. We were talking about Darkwing Duck facsimile put out by Dynamite this week. Come grab it off the wall if you don't have it already. There are still a few copies left. We have finished up our review already. We're just wrapping it up right now, talking about some new store happenings, what's going on. But our rating across the board was a solid 4. That's from all of us. And you know me, I'm always negative about new books.
Yep.
This was a great read, though, and we all recommend it. Keep going. So
anyway, back to sports cards. Sorry, Chad. Basically, we got some new product in, going pretty quick, actually. So if those of you who are sports cards collectors, come get your sports cards addictions taken care of by getting some sports cards. And pause again.
I didn't say pause. We're just going to read Chad's comment. He went to Creed 3. Well, you saw it before all of us.
Yeah. Actually, my nephew went to it last night, and he absolutely loved it. So hopefully you had the same opinion. Or if you didn't...
I don't like this. You'll have to tell us your thoughts on Creed. I haven't seen any of them. I own the first one, but just haven't watched it.
I've seen part of the first Creed, but not all of it, just because it was on TV at that point in time. But
see, I bought it used from the movie place I was going out of business. They're on my shelf and never watched it.
Nice.
So I've had that one for a while now, a few years. Don't have time.
Right.
Awesome movie. Thank you, Chad. We're going to see about checking it out ourselves possibly then.
Yeah. All right. To finish up on sports cards, yeah, just come get some sports cards. Join some box breaks if you want. So that way we can get further on that. I guess a bit of a side note, once the new product comes out, me and Trevor have been talking about a possible Pokemon break. So keep your eyes on that for our Facebook page, so that way you can get more information on that once that comes to pass. Mm-hmm. And now moving on to whoever wants to go next.
You want me to go next?
You got it.
I got it. Got a lot of stuff. It is a great series, Chad says, for that Creed series. I'm sure it is. I mean, I've heard that's a good one. Taking place right after Rocky, in the Rocky universe, with Rocky training Creed in the first one, if I remember right.
And second one.
And second one.
But he didn't return for this third one.
Makes sense. He's getting old. He needs to retire and enjoy life while he still can.
Right.
But Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I'm pricing those up generally on Monday and Tuesday. So what I'm trying to do is work out a system for my week. Monday being Yu-Gi-Oh, Tuesday being Pokemon, vice versa. Somewhere in there. That way, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I can focus on restocking the back issues for you guys. I've been doing a great job on that, or hope, kind of. I got some Tank Girl out there. I got some Teen Titans out there. And I've been working through Thor right now. So if you've got any Thor reads that you need, come grab those. Working through the T's. And Johnny.
Yeah. So Trevor definitely has been doing a really good job on that. On the more vintage side of comics, we have had some exciting runs of Amazing Spider-Man, like before issue 100. So today I was kind of a fiend with the tape, getting things ready. Manager John was pricing things, and we were getting them out. A lot of old Strange Tales, and then Namor Submariner issues as well, but more to come. If you guys are interested in thumbing through those, just swing on over to the not Silver Showcase, the Silver Comics area where the dice and the card protectors are and stuff, and we're happy to get you to those and help get you into some trouble, but some beautiful covers. It's fun to see that Marvel history. Probably going to be some DC, I'm sure, in there too.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. So pretty fun there. And then other than that, we are on the verge of being able to announce a little thing coming up in the store for a weekend, maybe later this month. For those that like to shop and buy stuff. So more to come on that, but I can't give out any deets until I have the signage. So we are eagerly awaiting that as well. And that is actually encompassing tabletop, comics, sports cards, but more to come. Mm-hmm. So, yep. And on the very big horizon, again, I can't announce anything formally, but we might have someone really cool coming this fall that I'm really excited about. for us here, as well as our Lincoln location. So more to come on that as well. But I got to be elusive until we sign the dotted line. So
on extra awesome side, for those of you who don't follow the SuperCon page, the Rainbow page, or the was it on Mary's Mountain too? Did they share it? I think they did. The guest appears at no, it was Voices.
Voices.
Yeah.
It wasn't SuperCon. It was Voices Against Cancer.
Yeah.
They are having the Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
Showing up.
So crazy.
Ian McDermott, that's his name.
McDermott.
Something like that. Anyways, the Emperor Palpatine will be here in Sioux Falls.
Along with some other great names.
I mean, there's other great names. So this is a huge deal. I mean, this is the Emperor. He's showing up in Sioux Falls. Nobody gets the Emperor. I mean, he never left the Star Destroyers and stuff, but the fact that he's showing up here is pretty cool. I have all the Stormtroopers lining up and excited fanning.
I am completely excited for that.
That is awesome. So, get together your Emperor action figures, your Funko Pops, comic books, whatever you've got, and head over to Voices Against Cancer.
Yep.
In July. I'm
Yes.
aiming for July, yeah. I will be there in my Star Wars setup of autographs for the event.
Yeah.
Awesome, Tony. And another side note for that is the fact that JSA authentication will be there. So if you guys want to get your autographs authenticated that you get at the event, they will be there. It'll be a $10 special for every autograph you get.
Nice.
So
that's actually really good. That's awesome. Authenticated on the spot. So that is awesome. Stop in here and check out if we still have any Emperor stuff sent out here. We will definitely be putting out anything and everything we have as we get closer to that date. I try to aim
do an end cap, really.
I don't have an end cap set up.
Yeah.
Same thing with SuperCon rolls around.
Yeah.
I'm aiming for May to start getting some stuff trickling out here, but once you hit June, it's all going to be put out there for you guys to see, and it's a first come first served mag grab.
Yeah.
So get here as soon as you can to get that stuff while you can.
Yeah,
and if you start now, you're going to get it before anybody else.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is probably thinking that far ahead.
You got a plan.
Because for the Voices of Cancer, if I plan on doing what I'm going to be doing, that's going to be a lot of Funkos, a lot of Star Wars Funkos, because like Bradley D. Baker, I think his name is, or D. Bradley Baker. He does the voices of all of the clones, and especially the clones from the the Bad Batch. Yes,
I know things.
he does all 5 of the Bad Batch along with all the other clones from Clone Wars and all that. So just get any of those. I'm hoping to find myself the 5-pack. I know we had it, but I'm sure we probably already sold it. But then also trying to find an Emperor one. I already have my one for the girl from Mandalorian.
Sabine something or other. Sabina San. Sabana Hisa. I think how to pass
it's the girl with the blue armor.
Like Sabine Wren or something.
No, it's not Sabine Wren. No, she's the one with the purple. Yeah.
I get them mixed up every single time. I just go, "Where's the Sabina Wren?" Like that's not who you're doing.
Sabine Wren's from Rebels, but Bo-Katan.
That's the only one that's correct. It's not that. It's Bo-Katan.
And I'm gonna try to be like Johnny over there and try and get a Gimli Funko, so I can get, since they don't have his character from Indiana Jones. I'm so disappointed, but yeah. But that'll be plenty of that'll give me a huge collection of autographed Funkos. What's that? What?
I know they don't have any here. I was like, where did you get one and where can I get one?
But they're really.
Well, that's at Voices, isn't it? He's gonna be at Voices. Yeah. I'm not gonna be there.
Take that day off.
I can't do that.
I already did.
Well, you have every Saturday off you.
Not every Saturday. I work in the evening every Saturday.
You're not gonna be here that Saturday. So I have to work all day. What a jerk. What a coworker. What a friend.
I try to be a good friend, but well.
I try to. We all know how that goes.
But yeah, just get all your stuff you can for both Voices and for SuperCon. Just keep an eye on whenever you come in the store. Just ask if we have something for you. So
yeah, and like I said, we're gonna be trickling that stuff out. I'm aiming for around May to start getting that stuff like pushed out here. Get people's
excitement up.
Needs met for that kind of stuff. Get that stuff ready for that signing at SuperCon and at Voices Against Cancer, which is a fantastic organization.
Mhm.
We're very happy to be helping them in that way.
Oh yes.
Get some stuff out there. Other than that, I think that about wraps her up.
Let's roll, rock and roll. But you guys, this was seriously an awesome book. Definitely check it out. Again, shout out to facsimiles in general. And I think it's something that maybe gets slept on sometimes, and they really shouldn't. Again, it's a product of the times. It's a neat opportunity for us that don't have the original to be able to enjoy the piece, and it's so great.
Half the time, I wouldn't say that with Darkwing Duck. That's a fairly recent old print. I don't know if there's any hype
like
behind
stuff
it,
from
but
the 60s.
like stuff from the 60s. You know, we got Superman 1 facsimile somewhere.
That Avengers King one's still out
the
there.
Avengers
too.
King is still out there.
So,
Spider-Man 1, that was Avengers 16, I think.
Punisher. Or I know.
ASM 129.
Yeah.
Those are books that you can't just go out. I mean, some people can just go out and buy them, but we can't.
Yeah.
Right.
So the only way I'm gonna get the only way that we can get those kinds of stories is by buying facsimiles. I wish they'd print more facsimiles. Like, cancel the current Avengers run and just print facsimiles for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
You've already got the content. You've got it made.
Yeah.
You're saving money by hiring creators and stuff. Just keep pushing them out. Half the time, they'll sell better. People want the older stories.
I don't know if I can get behind that though, because I
you
probably want to support the creators. You know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately, you'd have a huge uproar with the creators, writers, and artists, and all that. So,
and I'm not speaking against creators; they need support too. But if you see that my Star Wars autograph collection is going to be insane by the end of fall, I believe that, Tony. And I just figure if you see that your title isn't selling, stop printing it and try something else. It might sell better. In the end, as a company, all you need to worry about is your money bottom line.
Yep.
But I'm not speaking against the creators. I feel for them too.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
But
anyways, you guys, thank you again for tuning in tonight. Shout out to Chad and Tony. You guys are always holding us down. We appreciate it. And if you guys have a chance to check this book out, definitely do it. And if you guys have any other books in the future that you want us to review, chop it up. Let's go.
Stop in Wednesday. Stop in early Thursday. Thursday evening is when I pick up all my stuff. Not saying I can't pick up on Friday, but I like to have it read Friday night. So stop in before then. And if you see something you want us to read, lift it up to us. Bring us 3 copies. Set them on the counter, and go, hey, read this.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, okay.
Yeah. Night, Chad. You have a good night.
Have a great weekend. Rest of your weekend, rather. Today's my Friday, so I'm excited.
My Friday too. Then I'll have a Saturday or a Sunday. And then it's right back to the grind.
Woo! Awesome.
So, on that note, Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. Whoop whoop.
You
All
guys
the points.
You guys have a great weekend, a great night, and we'll see you guys next time.
Wait, I'll just do my 5. Boom.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. Boy booties.
Good night. Have fun. Stay safe.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. Freed Comics. And Mike Trout for the win.
Mike Trout.